What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? It's your boy Mantra here, and with that cringe intro out of the way now, let me give you my quick thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So, this was definitely my most anticipated game of 2022 so far. I mean, besides like Mario Rabbids, I don't think there's any other game that'll even come close to matching my level of anticipation for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And I want to quickly like give my first thoughts on it. And also just to let y'all know this video pretty much has no script at all. I'm just saying what my thoughts are from like without even reading off a script. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, I beat the game about like a little over a week ago, and I'm just playing through it right now, doing some side quests, and I guess we'll talk about the gameplay first. So, this has by far my favorite combat in any Xenoblade game. I mean, first, I guess I'll just talk about switching characters. Switching characters in combat is such an incredibly, like, amazing mechanic. You never expect it to be as good as it actually is, but, like, it adds so much, like, it makes the combat feel so much faster. It's genuinely, like, incredible in how well it was handled, in my opinion at least. And also, the dash mechanic is so useful for repositioning. It is honestly so helpful. I cannot believe how incredible the dash mechanic is. Like, oh my god, it is so good. And just the combat in general, it feels really nice. I actually really like it. And I guess it's just, I feel I was a little worried about, like, in the beginning, if you saw my live stream, because I live streamed, like, the first 3 chapters and the ending. If you saw my live stream in the beginning, I was a bit worried about how auto attack canceling wasn't going to be a thing anymore. But apparently that wasn't really too much of an issue, because, I don't know, the pacing of combat, especially after we got all 6 characters, and even all 7, it just felt like really fast, and I didn't really have any issues with it. Even with the Kevis arts, like I was worried about them being timed recharge, because I'm a big fan of Xenoblade 2's combat, and I know some people aren't, but I was also pretty worried about like the Kevis arts being on a timer, and I felt like that would slow the combat down a lot. But with switching characters in combat and the Agnes arts, like just paired them together, I, I I didn't think there were any like bad pacing issues when it comes to the combat. I feel like the combat was really fast and really engaging, and honestly, that's the best thing you could ask for a Xenoblade game. And I felt like it was incredible, and it was definitely the best combat out of any game in the series so far, besides X, because I still have yet to play X, even though I have a copy of it. But anyway, I'm gonna get to that soon. Where to talk about next? Oh, yeah, let's talk about Ouroboros. Actually, I'm not done with the combat yet. Ouroboros was a really cool mechanic in my opinion. I heard some people say like how it felt a little underdeveloped, but honestly, I didn't really think so. I felt like it was just a really strong option for those who like just wanted it. I don't know. That's I'm not really wording it well, but it just felt like a much like stronger balance in my opinion because it didn't really feel too broken, but it also didn't really feel too like week either because all the arts were slower and well at least for most of them were a little slower even though they did more damage and you can't die. It still felt to me really balanced because there is a cooldown on it and the heat gauge runs out pretty fast if you're playing well. Like canceling does make it increase further, and even I thought the soul tree would eventually become incredibly broken, but it actually didn't get as broken as I thought it would get, so that's a positive there. And anyway, let's talk about the world. The world in this game is so massive. Like, I thought it would be like around the same size as Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2's world, but honestly, I think it's like, it's definitely bigger, but like, it's bigger on ways that I never expected. Like, it's a lot more vertical, I'd say. Like, the verticality in these worlds is a lot larger. And even the worlds are just bigger in general. Like, shoot, what's the best way to put this? I know this is going to be a horrible way of saying it, but they're a lot more horizontal and vertical as well. And there's a fake Rop art in the background. What do they call them? Like, oh, that's also like that's a negative thing about this game. They named Rop art like Gigantus Jingoistic or whatever, like Jingoistic Gigantus or whatever his name was. Anyway, they ruined Rop art, bring him back. At least they kept Gonzalez back. Anyway, the music. Oh my god, the music was like incredible, dude. I cannot believe how incredible the music sounded in this game. Like some of my personal favorites were, I mean, the opening theme, the prologue theme is amazing. What else? The all the battle themes were incredible. I mean, I liked Agnes battle, but that was probably my least favorite battle theme. But Kevis battle, you will know our names finale. Both Mobius boss fight themes are amazing. I actually really do like the final boss theme too. I know a lot of people probably won't like the final boss theme as much, but I really like it. What else? The origin battle theme is really good too. I like that one a lot. Shoot, what else? And a lot of the overworld themes are really nice too. I really liked Milik Meadows. I really like Milik Meadows, and the cinematic themes are amazing. The vocal themes I thought were a little bit like they were good, but they were a little bit weaker than Xenoblade 2's vocal themes in my opinions. But some of the, as I said, the cutscene themes. Oh my God, the theme at the end of Chapter 5, that cutscene theme. I'm pretty sure it's called Eclipse Homecoming. I still have yet to learn the names of all the songs in this game, but Eclipse Homecoming, that song is something else in my opinion. Like I can't believe how incredible that song sounds. And shoot, what else? There was another song. Yeah, like all the tension building songs. Like I'm usually not the biggest fan of those, but songs like I remember the name of it. It's like called Premonition or something. I like that song. And Inherited Hope is also a really good song in my opinion. I think that's the one where that plays at the end of chapter 1. Oh shoot, this is a trading cutscene. Anyway, sorry. Crap. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the music, as I was saying, is like simply amazing. I can't believe how good it sounds. Like I saw a comment saying how, oh shoot, it's like they told the composers that like this would be the last OST they would ever make, and they went like truly, they went hard. Oh shoot, and that's what I was talking about. The Weight of Life, that song. Oh my goodness, The Weight of Life is incredible, dude. That song is so hype. If you saw my stream at the end of chapter 2, you'd know how hype I got over that song when it played for the first time on one of the last cutscenes of chapter 2. And I was actually kind of surprised it only played twice throughout the game. Like that was a little upsetting, but I guess like I heard some people say like it made the song feel more special because it didn't play as much as, for example, like counterattack or engage the enemy, which is pretty fair. I understand that point too. Okay, look, this is another thing I don't like about the game. I hate how like we have to wait for these people to walk. Where are we going? Can you like hurry up a little bit? Nah. Anyway, that's a minor nitpick. The tutorials in this game are thankfully so much better than they were in Xenoblade 2. Like, I can't believe how incredible the tutorials are in this game. And the training drills, I actually did use the training drill for chain attacks because that actually was really useful because I did not understand how they worked at first. And the training drill for chain attacks actually helped me understand how they worked a lot more. And I felt that that was really well done and like really well handled. And that was a really appreciated feature, and I'm so happy that they actually cared about making the tutorials like actually good this time. What else? There was this story. I guess we'll just talk about the story now. Actually, no, quickly, the voice acting. The voice acting in this game is like honestly, it's pretty top tier in my opinion. I wouldn't say it's as good at Xenoblade 1 because it still has some of the awkward moments, at least in my opinion. But voice actors like Lance and Senna and Uni, those are like, I think those are my three favorites, Lance, Senna, and Uni. Yes, Uni's the boss. Anyway, yeah, the voice acting is really good. I also really like Ethel's voice, even though in my opinion she did have some of the weaker deliveries, like especially near her final scene. She wasn't the best in my opinion, but I do like her voice overall as like a normal casual voice. It's kind of like a Rex scenario for me. Like I like their voice, but when it comes to the more dramatic scenes, they're a little bit weak on that part. But that's just my opinion. If you love Ethel's like voice too, that's awesome. And another voice I really like, actually no, my favorite voice in the game is probably Isurd's. I love Isurd's voice. Like the way he delivered his lines at the end of chapter 3 was like, oh my god, dude, this man is serious. No, but honestly, the voice cast in this game I felt like was handled way better. And even the cast, like not the cast, I mean the direction. The direction in this game was just felt a lot more improved in my opinion than Xenoblade 2's. And even actually no, Nia, I was gonna say even actors like Nia's voice actress got a lot better in this game, but Nia's voice actress was also really good in Xenoblade 2. It's just a direction that kind of messed her up sometimes. But and now I guess we'll talk about the story. So honestly, initially when I beat the game, my biggest complaint about this game was the story because, okay, I'm going to get into spoiler territory right now. So if you haven't finished the game yet and you're watching this video, please click off right now because there's definitely going to be a lot of spoilers in this section. So, Yeah, it clicked off. Good. So I just got one thing to ask, Takahashi. What happened to the conduit? Like, where did that thing go? And what? Like, how can you just leave? I felt like the conduit was such an important part of Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2, even though it only appeared in Xenoblade 2. It was way like, with Xenoblade 2, like, taking that in mind, it's like a huge part of Xenoblade 1 now because of Alvis. But, like, Alvis was pretty much responsible for the two worlds separating, at least from what I'm aware of, because I might get some stuff wrong as well. But, like, Alvis was responsible for the two worlds separating. So where did he go? Where was he? Like, I need answers. I feel like Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 are complete stories. They don't really have a lot of loose ends. But I don't know, Xenoblade 3 just ended, like, with me wanting so much more. I left with way more questions than answers. I made a community post about this too. But I don't know, it felt like Xenoblade 3, the ending. It left me with a lot more questions. I guess that's something to be resolved in the expansion pass in that DLC story. And God, I really hope that DLC story is something else. And now that I'm on my second playthrough, I'm actually able to appreciate Xenoblade 3's story a lot more as its own thing. Because during my original playthrough, I was really looking for it to be this epic grand finale to the trilogy. Like, we see Pyra and Mithra and all the Aegises again, and then we see the Conduit, and we fight this, like, massive, incredible being. Actually, no, my original fanfiction was that Alvis would be the final boss of this game. But I guess that's not going to happen. Anyway, what I was trying to say, I don't know why I walked out of Colony 4. But anyway, yeah, I just kind of wished they, like, touched more on the stuff the loose ends that were there in Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2. I kind of feel like I really understand why Takahashi did agree or think that you could enjoy this game without having prior knowledge of the previous games, and I definitely understand why they took that approach. But still, I just kind of wish they, like, talked about the previous two games a little more. Seeing Melia and Nia in the end, like, and especially their hero quest was definitely enough for me. But I don't know, I still wish they, like, talked about a few other things a little bit more. Like, I wish we did see Pyra and Mithra just for like one scene. I'm glad we saw Poppy at least, but still, I don't know. I heard other people, like, say they were a little disappointed. And also the villains this time around, I initially thought that they were, like, very weak, and some of the minor ones like P and O and even D are pretty weak, and even Yorin is, like, honestly not the strongest. It just feels like, I don't know, Yorin just kind of feels like Mumkar done all over again. I know that's an exaggeration because Yorin is nothing like Mumkar, but I don't know. It just feels like the former friend becomes the enemy. You know what I mean? It's a little hard to explain, but I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say here. It just, like, it doesn't feel the villains, like the minor ones, weren't so good, but I don't know, I actually really do like Zed and N as villains, in my opinion. I know some people probably won't like them as much, but I actually really did like them. I didn't think Zed was a really strong villain, like, after I beat the game for the first time, but after, like, since I'm in the middle of my second playthrough now, I'm actually appreciating him a lot more than I initially did. And I realized that Takahashi he didn't really want to make the villains this time around specific, like, individual characters, like, that have, like, important or significant backstories, like Jin and Malos. He just kind of he wanted to make the main antagonist some sort of a concept instead of an actual being, which is understandable too. I understand, like, you want to have your different approach to storytelling, and while it didn't really click for me, I am beginning to like the villains a lot more now on my second playthrough. So yeah, what else? Yeah, that's pretty much it for the story. I mean, the story still had its incredible moments, like the plot twist. I mean, I even made a community post about this. The end of Chapter 5 and the beginning of Chapter 6 was something truly spectacular. And yeah, that's pretty much all the thoughts that I have about Xenoblade 3. It's still an incredible game. I'm still contemplating if I prefer it over Xenoblade 2 yet. I honestly don't know. I probably have to finish my second playthrough and do a bunch more stuff in it before I can really determine an answer. But for now, Xenoblade 2 is still my favorite, but maybe Xenoblade 3 will overtake that once I fully finish it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this video. I know it was really weird, like, without a script and me just talking from my head. but I hope y'all enjoyed it anyway. And as I always say, thank you so much for watching, and have yourselves a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, and night.